Okay, so this is my personal testimony that I wrote and read at two church retreats that I had an amazing time leading, and a lot of people said that this testimony has helped them or changed them or just, I don't know. But I want to share it to everyone in the world and just for anyone who needs inspiration or anything, so that's what I'll be doing. Okay. Hey y'all, for those who don't know me, I'm Abby with an IE. Most know me because of cheer, my crazy personality, or my family. Now a little bit about me. I'm a cradle Catholic, been in cheer for 11 years, I'm a Disney fanatic, plan on going to Texas Tech, and I have the biggest heart. I'm a very happy-go-lucky girl, but I wasn't always like this. Now my family has always been one of the most important things in my life. They mean so much to me. Back in 2015, I was 14 and a freshman, living a pretty good life up to that point. But in an instant, that all changed. One night, I stayed at my friend's house while my sister Bree went out to a concert with her friend. The next morning, I was rushed home, and when I got home, my mom was waiting by the door for me, threw down my bags, and shoved me upstairs to my room where my dad was waiting. My parents then sat me down on my bed and had to explain to me that last night, Bree was killed in a fiery car crash caused by a drunk driver while heading back home. At that moment, my whole world came crashing down. Nothing made sense at all. Bree was only 18 with her whole life ahead of her, and it was all taken away like it was nothing. I kept praying that this was all a nightmare and that I'd wake up to her being here, or that this was some sick joke and that she was fine and would walk through the door saying it was all a prank, but it was neither. I just couldn't comprehend that I lost not only my big sister, but my actual best friend all in one. Bree was the absolute light of my life. That day, I fell into a deep depression. I wouldn't eat or do anything. All I would do was lay in Bree's room either crying or sleeping. Instead of turning to God in prayer, I stopped attending church for a very long time and almost lost all faith because at that time I just could not understand why this powerful, amazing God that I believe in and worship would allow this horrible thing to not only happen to Bree, but to my whole family and I. Deuteronomy 3:18 says, "The Lord himself will lead you and be with you. He will not fail you or abandon you, so do not lose courage or be afraid." At that time, I just couldn't believe that God was there. I felt completely abandoned by him. Every day, my depression would worsen. I would ask God why he took Bree, why her instead of me, but I would get zero response. A lot of my friends have older siblings too, and I get that they couldn't control what they said around me, but I wish they would have. And here's a list of things I'd have to hear them say. Things like, I hate my sibling, I wish I didn't have a sibling, I'm so sad because my sibling is leaving for college, and so much more. And each and every single comment like that would hurt because I would do anything to have Bree back. I'd rather have my sister be gone away at college than gone forever. And people just don't understand how lucky they are to have their siblings. And I have nothing but unconditional love for my sister, and it really shows. At times, the pain of Bree not being here would get so bad that I seriously contemplated killing myself because I could not bear to live in a world without Bree. I just wanted to be with my sister so badly that I was 110% okay with killing myself just to be with her. I just wanted everything to be over with. I started to blame myself for what had happened. I would tell myself that if I would have stayed at home that night, I could have gone to the accident and I could have saved Bree myself since no one else could. I later realized that that was a lot to put on myself because nothing could have been done. My mom put me in therapy twice a week to try to help, and over time, it did. I started to pray for not everything to be okay, but for strength to get through this, and God gave me lots of strength. My suicidal thoughts were slowly being pushed away. I stopped blaming myself for Bree's death, and I started to become not back to normal, but a new normal. I even started to get back into church thanks to a really good friend of mine, and that helped a lot. Now fast forward to this past summer, I had a few obstacles and made a few mistakes. It had been only 2, almost 3 years since Bree's passing, and I honestly did not know what I was doing with my life. I was just going from day to day. I decided to go on a leadership retreat to strengthen my faith even more and give me opportunities like this to lead on retreats. I remember Bree was giving a lot of people signs from her up from heaven, and I hadn't received any from her around that time. My family and her friends would share their stories to me about these amazing signs that they had received, and I would be happy for them. But later on, I would cry to myself because I felt so left out and honestly unloved. I would constantly pray to God for Him to give me a sign that I wasn't alone or that she didn't forget about me, but I would get zero response back. I honestly thought that Bree didn't love me anymore and that she did not like the person that I had become. One night on the retreat, we were all outside and there was a table with little lit candles on it, and around the candles were rubber bracelets with Bible verses on them. Mark 11:24 says, "Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it and it will be yours." I prayed for a bit, asking yet again for a sign, and went up and randomly picked a candle and went to pray some more with Bill Berry, my retreat leader. After that, I sat down with my friends and looked at my bracelet I got, and immediately I was in shock. I didn't know if all the verses were the same, so I asked my friend what verse they had, and it was different from mine. And in that moment right then, I knew that Bree still loved me because the bracelet had her favorite Bible verse on it, which is, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope in the future." Jeremiah 29:11. I bursted out crying with tears of joy because I really felt that Bree was there with me and wasn't disappointed in me at all. And I now wear that bracelet every day to remind me that I'm not alone. I felt like everything was starting to fall into place. I was in a good place mentally, physically, and most importantly, spiritually. Every day, I thank God for life, and I try to live each day like Bree would, and like it would be my last. I made sure to walk by faith and not by sight as much as I can, and I constantly use prayer because it is so powerful. I do now believe that everything does happen for a reason, even the bad things. I am not going to lie and say my life is perfect now because it is nowhere near being close. But I am beyond grateful for this amazing life that God has given me and blessed me with an amazing sister for 14 years of my life. And I encourage you all to do the same. Remember, if you're going through hell, don't stop. Keep going through it, because why would you want to stop in hell? Thank you.